Changed today, so I'm kind of grubby.
You're a farmer.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to Down and Dirty with the Badger State Tractor Pullers. It's August 7th. I'm sitting in the VIP Skybox in Hillsboro, Wisconsin. Where are you sitting, John Stranley?
I'm sitting in my beautiful sunroom in the back of my house.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm at the VIP desk at Elsing at Casa
Elsing headquarters. So,
Yep.
you guys, we're going to talk about Oshkosh. We're going to talk about Utica, and we're going to talk about Warren tonight. Kind of wrap up that. Recap the weekend, and we're going to talk to at 7:15ish. Ben Haynes jumping on to talk about Milledgeville, Illinois. That's Greg. That's a Carroll County fair, right?
Yep.
Okay, and that's Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
It's 7 or 6:30. Pros, limited pros, 466 hot farm, 466 hot farm, light limited super stocks. And then John, are the Tri-County mini rods there at all this week, bud?
They are tomorrow night. Yep.
They are tomorrow night. So Tuesday, Wednesday, there in Milledgeville, Illinois. And then if everything goes right, Bob Parks is going to join us and Chris Feller and talk about the next generation made in the USA Parks tire. I think that's exactly how he told me to say that. So Welcome, everybody. A busy week of polling coming up again. Obviously, one of the biggest polls in Wisconsin is this week with the Pro Polling League. And Don Slama will be joining us on Let's Grow Polling at 8 o'clock tonight. And so I got up here early to start our show, to do our Badger State show. But John, Greg, who announced up in Oshkosh Friday night?
Luke Van Handel.
Okay.
One of our flagmen.
Yep, I know Luke.
Yep. So he did a pretty good job from what I hear.
Yeah, good. Let's go through the results a little bit. I'll bring up the Badger State website here. John, how did Utica go?
Utica went well. Went without a glitch and worked out pretty well. I didn't hear any complaints, so it must be good.
Yeah, they're not afraid to tell you when you do something wrong. So,
no, and that's good. I need to hear too, so.
That's the first time I've ever got a phone call from Utica for a long time. Everything must have went really well.
or they just gave up on you. So
they might have.
Yeah, that was it.
For all you fans that are watching right now, if any of you went to Oshkosh or Utica or Warren, let us know your thoughts. I saw something cool. It looks like there was a shootout down there in the limited pro class, and I think Mike Gerlach won that. Does that sound right, guys?
Yep.
Great.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry I was yawning there. Yeah, Mike Gerlach did win it. A couple of the guys didn't come back because they made the shootout, but didn't want to come back because they were too hot or something.
Okay.
But some other guys stepped in and made it a good shootout.
Awesome. All right, so I got the Oshkosh results up, guys. Alan Paulson won light pro stocks. 313. Cartwright was 312. Cartwright was 297. Caster 281. Steph was 276. Burkholz was 268. Pro Stock Diesel Trucks, that's the 3.6 trucks. Migraine, oh, wow, that was a tight class. Travis Van Huysen, 301.7, beat Jamie Larsch by 6 inches. Funks were third. Light Limited Super Stock. This is Wachholz's hometown pole, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Wittenbach continued his winning ways at 342. Kleckler was second at 332. Josh Wachholz was third. So a lot of diesel. Yeah. Top 5 were diesels. Alex Bear was 6. And then Zenz was 7th. Anderson's, that's an Alki that covered in the red. Yeah, the diesels must have liked that track.
It's a little harder track. I think the 24.5 tires get into it a little better.
Okay. Fair enough. And then Super Farm, we have Lance Learman out of Sholesburg, Wisconsin. That's a guy from California, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it was him. I think it's one of the kids from Lance's. One of the Josh.
Josh was second. Tanner Gielli was homegrown 4th. Jason Vinny 5th. Paul Ludi drove homegrown. And then Hot Farm, Ben Hain. We're going to have him on it a little bit. He got the win on Dozing Through. Lee Ruff was 2nd. Cole Meyer was 3rd. So okay. I've announced up there a few times in the past, Oshkosh. It's like a 1 entry to get in, and then it's a free grandstand, and they just packed that place. It was just, I'm sure it was like that again. I haven't seen any pictures or anything, but I'm sure it was good, guys. So
yeah, they said it's the biggest crowd. Some of the guys over there says the biggest crowd they've ever seen there. So that was good. Yep.
Awesome. And then let's swing over to Utica, John. Can you take over? I'll bring the results up, but just kind of give us your high-level 30,000 overview of Utica.
I believe the light pro stock was first and second were Andy and Mark Cartwright.
Yep, 322 was Andy.
Yeah, Kyle Paulson was 3rd, I do believe.
Yeah, Andy Cartwright was 322. Mark Cartwright was 298. Kyle Paulson was 298. Steph Famaville was 2, and Castor was 280.
Yeah, I heard Burkholz has hurt their tractor, so they couldn't make the call for there.
Okay.
Hot Farm was a good class. Lee Roof, I believe, won that one.
Yep. Loofborough was 2nd. Mike Meyer 3rd. Cole Meyer 4th. Eric Vesbach 5th. 14 hot farms.
Yep. The Pro Stock Diesel truck was a really close class. They were kind of using the whole track down there for that. And the Farmer's Nightmare had a nice pass, held the lead. He finished way on the left-hand side. And my younger brother, he moved the sled to the left and run the whole left side and got by them guys by about a foot. So I think he got a 2nd Badger State win without a hand.
Nice. Yep, Stranley 1, Rip 2, Faber 3rd, Lars 4th, Ben Shimp 5th. Light Limited Super Stocks, David Runkle beat Wittenbach by an inch.
Yeah, that tractor loves that track there. For whatever reason, Runkle always does good at Utica.
Yeah, I think his tractor's running better. He had another win earlier this year, too. It's right.
I think he worked on it over the winter quite a bit, I think, and making some more power out of it, I do believe.
Good deal. Smithback won Super Farms, his hometown pole. Brandon Block, yeah, that must have been because Brandon works down there as well for Blackburn Performance. So Brandon Block was 2nd on that John Deere that's going back to California. Jason Vinny 3rd, Paul Ludi 4th, Johnny Dahlke 5th. So
Jay was the last one in the class and just had a picture-perfect pass, and I think he finished on the left too.
How were the crowds in Utica, John?
Crowds were big. They're really
Good
big.
deal.
I think prior year was so hot that nobody wanted to come out. It was really, really hot. This year there was a breeze. And it was summertime heat, but there's a lot of people there. So it was very good turnout for fans.
I got Ben waiting in the green room, so I'm going to jump to Warren quick. We'll buzz through that, and then we'll talk to Ben. Warren. Greg, did you go down to Warren Saturday night?
No, I did not. I wasn't able to make it. The boys went down, and they reported back and said it was a good track, and it was a good pull.
Good. Jared Fredericks got his first 4.1 win of the season. 345. Ingle King's back out. He went second at 343. John Meyer Jr. was 337. Scott Olson fourth at 333. Gerlach was fifth. 14 4-1. So that's a good class of those. And then Gerlach came back. They had the shootout, and Gerlach came back and won it. So that's pretty cool. That was in memory of his dad, everybody, who he passed away right after Louisville, right, Greg?
Yep. The day after they won down there, got second in the finals, I should say. Yep.
Two-wheel drive trucks, hot nasty. Kyle Timmerman won. That truck's having an awesome season. Won Toma, I think, one of the sessions. Jason Round brought the Pro Stock up, got first at 307. Travis Wallman was second at 306. Randy Brew was third at 302. 640 Pro Farms, 9 of those. Nick Cunningham, Industrial Strength, came out on top at 351. Brad Struder in the Blue Venom was second at 347. And then Lane Meyer was third at 466 Express. And then the Limited Pro Stock Shootout, 4 of them competed in it, guys. Gerlach was 320, Bill Smith 305, Ingle King 304, Scott Olson 276. So,
yep,
there you go. Well, without further ado, we're going to bring Ben on. Dozing Through got a win this weekend, Ben. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah, we finally had something go our way.
It takes a little bit to get the right number and the right draw and get in the right spot on the track, don't it, Ben?
Yeah, the first 6 pulls of the year, we had some piston ring issues, and we finally figured that out and got through that. Now we got her going.
There you go. That always helps.
Yeah, 6 cylinders helps.
Did you find it on the dyno or just find it running it?
We actually figured it out running it. We thought it was a cracked head, but it ended up being, we tore it down and had the number 1 cylinder. The rings were stuck, so.
Yeah. That happened.
That does happen.
How'd you do in Utica then? Or you won in Utica, right? Or was it?
Oh, we won up in Oshkosh, and then Utica, we got 7th. I think Pat 5th or 6th hook, and went down through there and took the lead, and then everybody followed us.
That's all you could do at the time was take the lead, right?
That's what I said. I'm happy with it. We took the lead, so.
Yep. Done that a couple times this year. The boys have, but build a road for everybody else.
You're just along for the ride.
Yep.
Working on the track down the fairgrounds tonight?
What's that?
Are you working on the track at the fairgrounds tonight?
Nope, we're going to start about noon tomorrow, I think. Tear it up and put some water in her and start working her.
Have you had much rain here?
We had, what did we have, 3.5 inches last week there, 4 inches. So it's pretty good shape. So I was out and graded it up there last Thursday, I believe. Looked good, so.
Good.
We got Pat Hacks going to come down and help us a little bit there Wednesday. And we'll get all the moisture in it we need tomorrow. That always helps having ISP there Tuesday before Badger State.
I will say that your track has improved over the years here. In the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, I think you guys have done a better job every year. It gets a little better.
Yeah, we're kind of getting the system down with it, and keep the water in it pretty standard now.
Yeah. Yep. That helps. And a good run out, and you'll expect a lot of tractors there. I don't know if there's anything crazy coming up, but you usually get a good number of vehicles there.
Yeah, I think we usually get a pretty good show. Depends if the boys from Dubuque, how many pro stocks they bring, but
right.
I'm sure every other class will be pretty good numbers.
Yeah, I think he broke a couple of them in Warren, the way it sounded. But
yeah, I know he broke the bootlegger. I'm pretty sure.
He'll have him running again, though. He's pretty good about getting him going.
Yeah, he said he'd see us Wednesday.
Yeah, that's good. So,
that's awesome.
Yep.
You guys do an awesome job down there. When we come down there and pull the minis, you guys do a great job. You don't get it packed too tight, and you got good moisture in it. So ours is bringing it down.
It always helps putting you guys first. You kind of get the track you want.
Right. Get a pretty good on Wednesday night. I always feel you have a really good crowd there.
Yeah, it's pretty packed on Wednesdays. Even Tuesdays gets really good crowd for Tuesday, and then Wednesday it's always full house.
Yep.
we don't charge for the grandstands on Wednesday. It's just open admission, $10, and they seem to roll in there.
Yeah.
That's a good, great deal.
Who all helps you with the track down there, Ben? Any pullers or anybody else, or local guys help out get it?
Oh
ready?
yeah, my good buddy Dan Quackburner and Dewey Troball. He's got an altered farm he come out with this winter and running with Kleppy and Jeff Cass and them guys, and trying to figure that out. And then Dustin helps, of course, and Keith Engelkins and a few other guys. Takes a whole crew of people, of course.
It does, and usually a big cooler of beer every time we get together to help with the track, right?
Yeah, it takes plenty of beer. I went today and got 10 30 packs, so
Just to build the track, right?
yeah, and it won't see Thursday, I'm sure.
Holy smokes.
And when we're down there, the pullers pulling on meals everywhere, and you guys always have one of the best down there. I think Jared Frederick's mom, Jim's makes that pasta salad. One of my favorite things to eat when we do all these meals for everybody.
Yeah, my girlfriend, they do the food, and my girlfriend yesterday, Mel, she went and got all the plates and water and everything for that. So it is pretty good. Those brats they do and that pasta salad.
Right. It's always a good thing when the guys all get together and have a meal together. I always think that's good for the club.
Nope, I agree.
Breaking bread.
Yep, breaking bread together, right? Sometimes it's breaking bread and drinking beer. But
Yeah. Well, usually it goes hand in hand.
Right.
Yep.
So,
A good story. How many years have you been helping out down there?
Oh, I was just thinking about that the other day. I think it's got to be 15 years I've been doing the track now.
yeah. So
Awesome. You do a great job.
And we really haven't changed a lot. Just fine-tune the way we've done it. We really haven't changed much how we've done it. Just fine-tuning.
right, paying attention to what worked and what didn't work, right?
Yeah, just the biggest thing we found is putting water on even. The more even you can do it and the slower you can do it, the better.
Right. Far in advance. Get some rain. Rain always helps, makes that easier.
Yeah. Yep. We didn't put no water in ahead of time this year because we got 3.5 inches of rain there last week. So
Yeah. Why don't you tell everybody about your tractor parade? It's always pretty interesting that you have before the pull too.
yeah, they do. It's not really a tractor club. They just do a tractor parade. And I don't know, there's probably 50 to 75 antique tractors, everything from combines to mounted corn pickers.
Right.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
They do a good job there with that. I know all the pullers look forward to it every year too.
Right.
Kind of neat. That's always going on. It seems like during the drivers' meeting, so we all get to watch it.
Yeah. They'll drive by. Yep. So, who else do you have for sponsorship down here you want to talk about? Or
I got busy this afternoon in the shop actually putting the oil back in our tractor, and I forgot to get the list. But there's probably anywhere from 40 to 50 local sponsors throughout the county, and they've been ones that's been there a long time. So can't do it without them.
No, you can't. Hard to do.
No, you can't hardly do anything anymore without help.
Right. Yep. Takes a lot of money to make the wheels go around.
Yes, it does, and just keeps getting more every year.
Yeah. One of the questions, John, I'd like to ask you, Ben, is if you could pick anybody's tractor to drive or any tractor, and you didn't have to pay to fix it or work on it, just got to hop in the seat and make a pass, whose would it be?
Oh boy. I drove a pro stock already, so I can't say one of those, but
Right.
I don't know. I'd try like to drive one of them 4-engine mods once. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
Something on gas once.
Yeah.
Or one of them big blown mini rods. One of them would be cool too.
Right. Find a seat in one of them. Yep. So,
That's fun.
I've never drove anything on gas on a pull, so
yeah.
it's always been diesel.
Well,
First thing I ever drove was Dustin's Pro Stock, so kind of got spoiled right out of the gate.
You get to push the big stick right away, huh?
Yeah, I never even hooked a farm stock. T-bone
Yeah.
was the first one.
There isn't much difference between a hot farm and a pro stock, is there?
Yeah, not much at all. Just way louder and way faster.
Right.
How can you say that with a straight face, Ben?
I can't.
Yeah, I know.
The biggest thing from a hot farm, I always say to a pro stock, is when the weight box stops out. Hot farm, you don't feel it, and the weight box, it hammers you.
You can definitely feel that weight box with tops out at the end.
Yes, that's the coolest part of the ride, in my opinion.
Yep. So, nope.
I've always been impressed over the years, Ben, with your crowd for a Wednesday night. That place is just packed. Absolutely, that county fair really supports that.
And I've been going there, basically my whole life, and I always remember it packed. The pits are packed and the stands are packed, and we don't even do nothing really that special for advertising. It's just everybody knows when the Carroll County Tractor Pull is, and they look forward to it every year.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Some county fairs are still really, that strength, but it helps when you have some local pullers too.
Yeah, there's four or five of us local pullers out of here, so that helps.
And when they're a Badger State member, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we got Dave Baker and us and Fredericks and Dustin and Rick Brockhouse, I believe. He's still trying to come back out with his light limited. So,
okay. Which tractor did Ben? I forget.
What's that?
Which tractor is Rick's? I forget which one that is.
Oh, what was that? It was something corn something that Deutz. Yeah. Anderson's do the motor on it.
Okay.
I can't. It was something to do with corn was the name, I think.
All right.
He pulled a few years there, and I think he had some engine troubles, and I don't think he's ever got it back out since then. But I know Anderson's have the motor.
Yep. Adam Stevens got on here some of my best child.
Yeah, I forgot about Adam Stevens. We got Adam Stevens now too, so there's 6 of us.
From the Carroll. Good.
Awesome.
Yep.
We have, even the ISP puts on mini rods. We have a real good turnout for that show too. They like pulling down there, always have.
Yeah.
And they tell me pulling's been a big thing here for years, I guess. Well, they used to have NTPA here 50 years ago, they said.
Yeah.
Jimmy Lutke told me he always pulled here years ago, him and his dad.
Yeah, they probably had their eliminator down there too.
Yep.
Yeah, it was NTPA. They used to do all the NTPA shows.
Yep.
So you guys have a farm pull in the afternoon too there, don't you? Or?
Yeah, we started at 11 o'clock Wednesday with the farm pull, and there's probably 8 or 9 classes. And this year we got one new class. We're going to do 11,000 open this year, kind of like they do at Darlington, and see how that goes.
The Womp Womp farm stock tractors.
Yeah. Yeah, the only rule is 3,000 RPMs and 11,000 pounds. So
yeah, let them rip. You get a pretty good turnout in the afternoon. I've never made the afternoon show.
Yeah, it's packed. We probably have 80 to 100 hooks in the afternoon, starting at 11. We try to be done by 3, just so we can get the track. We gotta usually have the track ready by 5 for that tractor parade.
Yeah. Good. What's your favorite part about pulling with Badger State tractor pullers, man?
Oh, honestly, the people. I've known you guys forever. It feels like forever.
Right. Remember you coming along? He was around and Dustin and all that.
Yeah, I think I started coming with Dustin in 2007 or 8, I believe.
Yeah, that long time.
I knew Dwayne long before Dustin. Dustin and I can't remember how we actually met. I'm sure drinking beer through Dwayne somehow.
Dwayne was one of his favorite pullers of all time.
Yeah, he definitely is. We talk about him. There ain't a weekend goes by pulling that we don't mention Dwayne.
Right? Yep. Even for sure was my puller.
He had the best one-liners there ever was.
Hey, keep their memories and traditions alive. They're never truly gone. That's
right. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's the people. Seeing the people, they're like they become family, So it's all.
Just like everybody get done with their work, get fall to get to the banquet. Everybody wants to have their corn picked and in the bend by the time the banquet comes.
Yep, I just seen today that the room blocks were up, so I'm gonna have to get the room done here in the next couple of weeks.
Yep. They fill up fast.
They do.
They do. You know, I think we booked 200 rooms and they're gone.
Yeah, I think they ran out last couple of years.
Yeah, we might have to book a few more, I guess. I don't know, or add to it.
Seems to get bigger every year.
We do, and you invite more people to it every year. It's a lot of fun, you know, and more people just show up, you know.
Nope, we always look forward to going to that.
Yep. There's a lot to do there.
Yeah, there is.
Yep. You guys,
I'll
Ben?
that.
What's that?
So now I'll vouch for that. A lot to do there.
Yep.
Yep. You got any questions for Ben, John, before
I do not. Other than he does a great job down there in Milledgeville. Thank him for all he does down there for all the pulling and Badger State. And good luck on the rest of your season.
Thanks, John. I'll try and build you a winning track again. You always kick their ass down here.
Not always.
No,
We like that place. Brian's coming down, so hopefully he's got it set up good.
Yep. Jason,
Yes, sir.
what are you thinking? You got Feller in the green room yet, or
He's on the screen.
he's on the screen? Oh, I didn't see him.
Yep,
We
I'm
can-
here.
I'll make him bigger for you.
No, you don't have to.
No, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I had to go get some pants on in case I have to stand up.
You be like one of those newscasters, feller, just with a nice suit on top and then flip flops and swimming trunks on
Yeah.
underneath the desk.
I didn't
Yep.
get to.
And a really bad suit on the bottom.
Did we? Is he still on there?
What's wrong, Greg?
Did we get to say thanks and goodbye to Ben? Is he still on there?
Goodbye. Thanks.
See ya.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. Thanks for the show. Didn't mean to abruptly quit.
I didn't mean to hang up on you that fast, Ben. Sorry. So,
Oh,
oops.
All right.
Have a good week, Ben.
Yep.
I do. See ya.
All right,
So-
feller. Greg,
Hey, have you heard from Bob yet?
I have not seen him come on yet. I have your PDF up. I can share that whenever you want me to.
Yeah, he was driving from Indiana to Freeport to get tires, believe it or not.
So,
he's
Chris,
a tire
right-
guy.
a bit about why we're having you on here and what we're talking about, the tires and the molds and all that, what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the Bob the Builder session, right? So we did part of a session about the blocks, and it's kind of interesting to see how things are made that we use for tractor pulling. So we decided to do something about tires. I've been involved with Bob. Well, Bob's been doing tires for his entire life almost, and I met him at Freeport once, and we got talking, and helping out a little bit with the tires. So we want to show you guys how tires are made for pulling.
Didn't you help make the mold or maybe improve the mold or adjust the mold a little bit, Chris, in your machine shop?
Yeah. So Bob's a tire guru. He's the expert. He obviously made the India Pro pullers the Parks Pro pullers, and he had an idea what the next generation was he wanted to have. So between the guys at Titan Tire and Freeport, their engineers, myself, and Bob kind of put all of our heads together. And I had the connections in China because almost every mold that's made in the world for making tires is made in about, a couple hundred square mile area of China. All that technology is over there. And my plant's only 2 miles away from a lot of those companies that make molds. So that's how I got drug into this was, the engineering help, taking, Bob's ideas and but she's got a lot of great ideas, and converting them into, a mold and a design through Titan Tire, and then having it made over in China. My guys over in China helped out a bunch with that, and then getting that mold shipped back over here. Because when Bob first started with the India pullers, being in India and the language barrier and just the culture over there, it was really tough for him to get exactly what he wanted. And so with me having the plant over there and feet on the ground, we were able to cut through that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So you got videos to post up of what are your videos?
Yeah, Chris, do you want me to go through the PDF first, or do you want me to bring up that video first?
Yeah, so I did a PowerPoint presentation of all the pictures throughout the process. We didn't get permission from Titan to show the pictures internally to their plant of their process. There's some proprietary stuff there, which is understandable because I had the same thing going on my shop. So we'll go halfway through the presentation of how the whole mold was built, and then I found a video online that's very close to how the tires are made inside of Titan without it being Titan, and then we'll continue on through the rest of the PowerPoint presentation. I'll tell you when to play that YouTube video.
Okay,
that's how we got around it, if you will.
I'm bringing that PDF up right now. So.
So the first picture on there, obviously we had to develop, and there's like 40 different prints of that thing in a 3D model. But that first slide on there is actually just one of the prints to show you how we, document the dimensions of the mold. But if you know anything, about manufacturing and stuff, we had a 3D model made of the tire, and that all the little tweaks we wanted done to it. And the guy, the engineer at Titan, he was fantastic to work with. So we developed the 3D model. It's the tire drawn in the computer system. And I mean, we went through, rubber compound, wall, how high the soft rubber and hard rubber came up on the side walls, how many plies we put in it, the number of cords in the plies, how the bead ring was. And, we developed that whole process, and it pretty much all came out of Bob's brain based on what he knew he wanted to do different with the tires. And then we were able to make drawings that could be used in China to create the mold. So as we go down, and Titan picked this place in China. I did some machining on it and helped out a little bit, but then the real part of it was done by the mold maker in China. So if you go down to the next slide, you can see inside the plant in China there. The first few operations, I mean, it's a big chunk of billet material. We didn't capture those, but basically they machined big rings out, if you will, if you can see it on the slide there. And then if you go down to the next one, Jason, what we do is we machine the tread, the sidewall, basically the whole shape of the tire, rough it in with that, move it down just a little bit. It actually shows we machine and turn as close as we can to the final size, but then the EDM process, which is electrical discharge machining, we actually, if anyone is familiar with that, we use electricity to erode away the material to the exact shape that we want it. When we got some really intricate shapes, you can do, five-axis milling, but, sometimes the EDM is more efficient. So they actually put it on a big turntable, and you can see the electrical system and electrodes and it's actually sometimes it's straight oil for EDM. Sometimes it's a synthetic oil. Sometimes it's a water-based. It depends on what you're cutting. But basically, we're eroding away the material in the exact shape that we want it eroded away in using electricity. So if you go down to the next slide, and that turntable, turns in all axes. So if you roll down the next slide, Jason. That's not our tire, obviously, but they're just to show you what the process is. You can actually see the tread being cut in on that one right there. Roll down to the next one. There's our tire. So the mold has got a top and bottom lid to it, and you'll see later on in the videos here how that's actually used. And I never knew how tires were made before, and it's really interesting. You always think it's like a plastic injection mold. You inject rubber in, and that's how it's done. It's not done like that at all. It's like think of it as a waffle iron. So they build up this big blob of stuff with that's not a technical term, but a big blob of material. It's all got all the cords in it, and they set it in there, and they basically expand it out with a mandrel and heat it up at the same time. We'll get to those pictures, but it's really interesting to know that it's not an injection process. It's like a waffle iron. So if you roll down a little bit more, it's basically the life of this whole process. We're EDMing the tread in on this process. You can roll down some more. So you can see the tread more in that next picture here.
So it's two halves that you put together?
Exactly. Yep. Go ahead and roll it down some more, Jason. I think he decided to go on a run.
Yeah, I doubt that. Here.
I'm here.
So this just shows.
Is that next slide up? The rims looks like
Yeah, these aren't our tires. These are big tractor tires, but it kind of shows the machines in the background there where we're doing some of the milling on them. Go ahead and roll down some more. This plant is like 2.5 hours from Suzhou, China, and Suzhou, China is about 2.5 hours outside of Shanghai. You go, yeah. So that's just a picture inside of the plant where they got a bunch of these things laid out. Keep rolling down a little bit more.
So is China just a place where they're capable of doing this technology, or is it just there's not many places in the U.S. that can handle stuff that big?
It's just another thing that we gave the technology to China, and now they can do it and we can't. I mean, yeah, there are a couple places in the United States that can make molds, but most of this technology is over in China right now. So this is interesting. I wish Bob was on here. I don't know why he wasn't able to come on, but I don't know exactly how many holes. So they're vent holes. So when you mold a tire and you have pressure inside of the mold and it's pushing the rubber out, it has to go somewhere. So all your tires, you got those little
Hairs.
Little hairs, little rubber stems on there. This guy here is drilling all those by hand, and I don't remember how many. I could be wrong, but I mean there's hundreds and hundreds of these holes in this tire. Go on to the next slide.
How hard is it to mold? I mean, is it he's drilling with a regular drill bit?
Yeah, with a hand drill. Go to the next slide there, Jason. So these guys are drilling all these holes in this tire, and I mean it takes it takes them like a couple days just to drill all those holes in there. I mean, they go through like one drill bit for every hole, so it's just crazy.
Really?
Oh. Yep. And then you go down to the next operation here. So the mold is finished now. All the machining of like the logos and and parks and all that stuff is done in a machine center. We didn't get a picture of that. Now it's just going through inspection. We got, profile gauges, and you can roll down there through a little bit quicker. Step gauges, make sure everything's right, because there's no real good way to put that like a coordinate measuring machine to measure all that stuff. And it's not really, really tight tolerance. You can roll. I see Bob coming on here now.
Bob,
Go ahead
can
and
you hear
roll.
us?
So there you go. The mold went in a box. And you go down to the next slide. Can you roll down the next slide, Jason? There you go. Then the China guy loads the box in the truck. And then a U.S. guy picks it up at my plant. And then we shove it in a truck and it goes to Titan in Freeport.
Really?
So it was 8 weeks from China to here.
Really?
Yep. There's Bob. Hi, Bob. Can you hear us?
He's not muted, Chris. I don't know.
Oh. Well, so when it comes into U.S., which port does it come into, Chris? I mean, does that
Iran? Okay, so we ship stuff through like 7 or 8 different ports on the West Coast. Most of where we ship our stuff through is Port-au-Prince up in Canada. That's the easiest route for us. When we come into the West Coast, it's we don't like doing that unless we necessarily have to.
Yeah.
Roll back up a little bit, Jason, once. What I'd like to do is play that YouTube video. So there's only 2 pictures I got on here of the process. The one above that, the picture right above that is actually, oh, you missed part of that. There you go. That one right there. So that's our mold in the machine, ready to be used at Titan. So if you could play the video, like I said, I have a whole bunch of pictures, but we don't really have permission to use them, so we're not going to. So if you play that video that I found on YouTube, it shows exactly how that tire is made.
Yep, give me 1 second.
Do they lay the cord in there by hand then? I heard one time.
So when you get to the video, the cord has its own process. It's all laminated and rubber coated, and the cords are made in these great big long tube looking things. And then the tubes are slipped over top of a mandrel, and then depending on how many ply it is and everything, this is showing how. You can mute the video too if you want to, Jason. So this is the similar process what Titan uses. Right now they're creating the rubber, and one thing about these tires, we're using a different compound than any of the other tires that are out there. So that's one thing that seems to be working a little bit better. So yeah, they're creating the cord right now. They're taking the cord and they're putting the lamination on the cords to be able to turn it into a cord set, if you will, for the tires. And like I said, Bob is a lot more technical on this than I am. So those are steel belted. Obviously, ours aren't steel belted, but so this is where they're actually making the cord right here, and then they put them into they made a big round tube out of them, if you will. And that's what they're doing right there. And then in the next frame here, you'll see in the pulling tires, what's really critical is getting the right amount of cords at the right angle and very good quality cord that has a lot of spring or a lot of energy in it. And that's what makes a good pulling tire. So this is where they take these plies, if you will. I don't know if that's Bob can tell you the technical name of what that is. And then they load it on these mandrels. And so if you have an 8-ply tire, you'll have a floater and you'll have the actual plies and then a floater on the outside. And, the more plies you put on there, that's what they mean by 8-ply, 10-ply, 12-ply, 14-ply. And here they're rolling the edge over. They got to put the right amount of rubber in the ends of these sets, if you will, so it can create the bead ring, and you can see the bead ring going on there, and the sidewall is really, really critical. This is a very critical step to make sure that this is all put together right, and that's your waffle, if you will, that you're going to stick in your waffle iron. That's what makes a tire right there. So if they don't get that just right, your hard rubber and your soft rubber won't be in the right in the right place in the tire. The bead ring won't quite be right. This is a very, very critical step when they're making this. And then the next step they go on to is actually they roll the rubber on. That's not in the step of the video. They roll rubber on the outside of that piece at the right thickness, so then your tires are right weight. So then they put that in there and put it on the mandrel, and it expands it down and close the lid. And then I don't know the exact temperature, 500 plus degrees, that it actually goes in there. And then there you can see the little extrusions coming out. So basically that is a waffle iron, if you will. When that goes in there, it heats up. It goes in there for X amount of time to be heated up, X amount of time that after it opens up, it cools off, and then it goes to the inspection process. So you can go back to the PowerPoint presentation. So there's a ton. Go ahead.
Each size tire must have its own molds then, right? Like 24/5s or the 34-inch for the 4-wheel drives, or the
exactly, yeah.
Drives, and then
every tire has every tread design, even if it's the same size tire, even the tread design, if it's different, it has its own mold. So every tire that's unique has its own mold. But for our tires for pulling, it's the same mold. All we're doing for the 10, 12, and 14 plies, and even the 8 plies, is just changing that one part of the process with the amount of the cord sets that are strung on the mandrel.
So all the tires come out of the exact mold then, right? I mean, you only have.
Yes.
Yep. For that.
But when like I said, I wish Bob could be on here, because if you go back to that, roll down to our tire coming out of the mold.
So is he just making 24/5s now then, or is he going to make all tires?
No, he's going to get into a bunch of other stuff. I mean, the 30s will be next, but we got, he wants to get these perfected. But yeah, he's going to get into everything, I believe. Roll down a little bit more. Go to there you go. So there's our tire coming out, and then it goes through an inspection process. And the guys at Titan are great. They're completely opposite of the guys in India, because we section tires. We got to look at this to make sure that the bead rings in the right place, the hard rubber and the soft rubber are coming up the wall just right, that there's enough rubber on the face of the tire. That right there tells the story that you did a good job. And the mold's just the first part of it, but it gets really technical when you get into laying that rubber in there and putting the cord in, and the angles, getting the angles on the cord just right. And that the whole idea of a pulling tire is, creating and storing energy. So when them cords are working inside the tire, it's like a rubber band, if you will. So it's taking the tread and burying it in the soil and using it as a springboard, as a rubber band to propel the tractor forward. So if you have that sidewall designed just right, then that thing becomes a propellant. It's a pretty technical with what they do. There's a lot of black magic that those guys that didn't understand, and Bob understands it too. So here we got some pictures of the tires when they were done, fresh out of the mold. You can roll down a little bit. You keep rolling down, Jason. I can't remember what I had at the end here. Oh, then Bob takes over from there. He's got some real technical stuff he's got to deal with, because he's got to harden these things and getting these inflated right, post-inflation and all that stuff. And then the tire cutters, Korth are doing a lot of these tires right now. He does a fantastic job, getting everything just right on them. So that was a couple of the first tires that came out of the mold, and after they were hardened. And then we were doing some of the first measurements after, inflating them to 10 pounds. So you can roll down a little bit more. That's actually a service rim that the guys use that are, cut the tires and mount them. You can keep rolling down, Jason. So we're very particular with the rules, making sure the width is right when it's inflated to 10 pounds, circumference is right. Because, when they come out of the mold, they're much smaller than after they're hardened and post-inflated. So that there's a lot of tricky stuff there with the different plies, being able to post-inflate them after they've been hardened to make sure that they don't become too big. They're within spec. What else did I have for pictures there?
Yeah. Well, just so people that are watching, if you don't know, the circumference of a 24/5 tire for our classes is 210 inches. And the tread width can be 25 inches wide.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, when we check these at 72 degrees, they can be in spec, but if it's like 92 out, they could be out of spec. We got to be careful not to make these things too big so they're out of spec, because they do change size. It's rubber, and rubber is not the most stable material. And then the last couple pictures I got there, the first set that went on our tractor, Jared and Jim and I's tractor. And then the last picture is just a picture up close of the park's name on it. That was actually at the benefit pole, Greg.
Yep. First time out, right?
Yep. So the whole idea was to, show how these things how tires are made. So you guys got any questions at all? Like I said, I wish Bob could have joined. I know he was going to attempt to, and I seen him on there for a minute. Like I said, he's working hard, moving tires around the country right now. But that's how those things were made. There's a lot of engineering and technical stuff behind that process for sure.
Yeah, there is. Well, we're running out of time anyways, but the tire thing is really interesting, and I hope we get you on more if you've got some more videos of how you've done it and this and that. If you ever get permission to get inside of Titan and show us some of them videos, that'd be cool. Yeah.
The blocks are back from heat treat, and we'll have some videos of that pretty soon. Actually, the heat treat process, and then we got some other stuff in store coming up here: cams, cranks, injector stuff, whatever you guys want to see. We involved in a lot of that.
Okay.
And we actually won a pull.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't. What was that, John?
This weekend you won one.
Yeah, I didn't even get to see it. I was down in my Mexico plants working, so I didn't even get to see it. I wasn't even there. Jared and Jim will tell me to stay home or go back to Mexico, probably. What was that, Greg?
He's got no mic. Must be his cell service there.
Yeah, I think we're good, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. Chris, thanks for coming on tonight. I got to get ready for Let's Grow Pulling. So appreciate it, Chris. John, thank you.
Yep.
Greg, Milledgeville, Illinois, Wednesday. Hillsboro, Wisconsin, of course, Pro Pulling Champions Tour is in town Friday and all day Saturday. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks, Chris.
See you in Hillsboro.
Thanks.
See you in Hillsboro. I'm here, John.
I'll be there Friday and Saturday.
Don, how you doing?
So that guy, hi, Don.
All right, I got to boogie over, guys. See you later.
See you later.